Good morning, students. This is the first of your 2 weekly updates for our class. This week, Research Fridays returns, and I'm giving you the link to the podcast that we'll be listening to ahead of time. It's not due till Friday, but I'm giving it to you early so that way you have enough time to take a listen to it. And this week's question is, why is my life so hard? We are all going through some rough times. The world is going through some rough times. You can't turn on the news. You can't turn on the radio. You can't turn on the internet without seeing some of the terrible things that are happening. And it's really easy, I think, for all of us to wonder, oh my God, why are we living in these terrible times? Why are we living through these circumstances? What has happened? And those are healthy questions to have. And scientists have been researching those questions for a long time. This podcast was recorded back in March of 2017, so 3 years ago. And they're going to talk about something called the Headwinds, Tailwinds asymmetry. So let's break that down. A headwind is something that's coming against you. If you're walking forward, if you're running forward, the wind is coming at your head. So the wind is kind of pushing you back. If it's a tailwind, it's coming from behind. So it's kind of pushing you forward. So if you're a runner, you would prefer a tailwind that pushes you forward versus a headwind that's pushing against you. Because I suppose that when you have the wind at your back while you're running, you're going to go faster because the wind is helping you to some degree. Asymmetry means things are not symmetrical. A is the root word that means without. So without symmetry, without parallelism, so that you don't see the parallel nature of a headwind and a tailwind. They're going to explain this in a lot more detail throughout the course of the podcast. So please give it a listen before Friday. As usual, on Friday, you'll submit your discussion where you answer 2 very basic questions that I'll let you see when you click on it. I want to give 2 more things. One is, this is the application for Bravo's journalism program for next year. If any of you are interested in it, I'm going to repost the link this week. We've got 15 applicants so far. One of them is from our classes. I invite you to join. We're hopefully going to have a cool program next year. We were going to record episode 100 this semester, but unfortunately our semester has sort of been cut short, so we're not going to get to episode 100 until your senior year. So we'll have that, and we're also probably going to end up with issue number 200 during your senior year. So something that you might want to try to get involved in. And as usual, let me finish with some shout outs here. As you can see, 5th period had 7 people and 2nd period had 6 people. So let's go with 2nd first. Thank you, MD. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Thais. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Grace. These 6 usually are the ones who are viewing the updates. Unfortunately, we don't have that many people voting here, but looks like everybody said keep the shout outs, so I kept them. 5th period has 7 people. Let's give them some shout outs. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you, David. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Gabriela. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Kevin. If you have any questions, please ask them. As usual, please hit like so that I know you watch this. If we have a class at 33 and we're only getting 7 in one period and 6 in the other, I'm not able to reach a bunch of you. Yes, it's true. We're not going back to the campus this year, this school year. But that doesn't mean school ends. Doesn't mean your education ends. Your education is constant, right? You don't learn, I don't think, just for a grade, because that means that once you leave the world of school where there's grades, then you'll never learn again. And that's not true. We learn all through life. And one of the things that's so important for us to understand is what we do in school, essentially, is learn how to learn. And there are lots of ways to do that. One of them is to ask questions. We've talked about that. That's in your research project. That's what we're working on. We're going to do a lot more with that because we have some research cards that are coming up at the end of this week. The last 2 research cards, then we're going to start putting things together. It's an important time, right? We're putting together the finishing touches on your research project, which is about how we learn. We ask a question and then we look for answers. So even though many of you may be thinking, well, grades are already set, or we can't fail, or something like that, that's all about letters. And your education isn't about letters. Your education is about you and about what experiences you're having and how you can adapt, develop, evolve based off those experiences, right? You learned how to write letters when you were in elementary school. Does that mean we never wrote letters again because you kind of figured it out? No, we practice and we practice and we practice. And now we don't write the letters. We create with those letters. We create with those words, with those sentences, with those concepts that we bring out. So I urge you, please don't think that school is over. School continues. But more importantly, your education continues. All right. I miss you all. I wish we're back in 312. I left a bunch of stuff there that I can't go back and get. But it is what it is. We make do with what we make do. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay creative. Take care. Bye.